One quick thing before we move on. I just want to make one point, and I think it's forgotten at the beginning. What happened before the election? Firefighters, police officers in Ohio endorsed Kasich. In Wisconsin, 39.6% of union members voted for Walker. So really we have ourselves to blame because we're asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
So we have to look in the mirror first and make sure we vote for people that care about our issues. I tell my firefighters, and I don't want to offend anybody, but the days of voting for gays, guns, and God are over.
That's right.
Just worry about Second Amendment rights, worrying about nobody having abortions, or worrying about same-sex marriages. Those days are over. We got to take care of our issues, our own pocketbook. So we have to make sure we take care of people that take care of us. But once we get them elected, we have to follow them to their office and tell them what our issues are, not just get them elected, sit back like we did Obama and say now he's going to take care of the world. We got to make sure we're there. Wise man once said, the cure to ills of democracy is more democracy. So if they don't take care of us, we need to get the Democrats out of there and get another Democrat or another independent in there and take care of us. No matter if they have a D or R behind their name.
So I want to bring Bruce Colburn. Bruce Colburn is with SEIU. He's basically been with every union at some point. And but I want to bring Bruce in and I'm bringing quite a few people from the audience at this point, keeping our panel going too, because wow, cool phone. Very funky.
Rock it out.
So I want to bring Bruce in because Bruce can go to something that we just sort of touched on there, and that is getting kind of into the heart and soul of workers who maybe voted a little bit Republican before, but now have to be energized to be a part not merely of fighting back in the workplace, but also fighting back at the polls and in electoral fights. So Bruce, why don't you come on up for a second and throw a few words in there. Bruce Colburn from SEIU.
Well, one thing, just to make it clear, and I think Doug was mentioning it before, there's been a lot of talk about recall and whether there should be one and what it would look like, but one thing you can say, there will be a recall of Scott Walker in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
People have talked about, well, there's not enough money. Where are we going to get the money? People have talked about the power of the Koch brothers. People have talked about we don't have a great candidate to run against Walker. But I think one of the things we've learned, and we got one great candidate. One of the things that we've learned is that we have to stop just fighting not to lose. And it's about time, no matter what, we start to fight to win, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
The other thing that they ask you to think about is, as we're doing these fights, and John was talking a little bit about it, as we do these fights, we want to make sure that after every fight we're stronger than we were when we entered the fight. And I've been in lots of different fights, and for many, many years, and every time I say it, then they start giving me a hard time. Many, many years. But what happens in most of those fights is at the end of the fight, even when we win, all we are is tired at the end of them. And so in Wisconsin, we've really tried to look at something different. And there's two things. One is the story of Wisconsin is about Madison and about all of the things that people talked about, but it's really a story of small towns around Wisconsin. And everybody can tell you stories of a rally in someplace in northern Wisconsin. There's 2,000 people in the town when Walker came there. 3,000 people showed up for a rally against him. And you can hear about the We Are Oshkoshes and the We Are Rippins and the We Are Milwaukees and the We Are sprouting up and working it, and that we've tried to build during the recall election. Because 2 points. One is that we've talked in labor forever about we need our own organization. We need our own organization that can carry on elections and fight for issues. And we are dedicated to build We Are Wisconsin as that kind of an organization, because that's what we need around the country. And the second thing I'd ask you to think about as we're talking about, and this is a conference about the future that we're trying in Wisconsin and would like to compare notes and think about it, is unlocking this issue of what brings together the community and labor. Because we have decided, I think, that we need a fundamental switch in Wisconsin. And it can't just be about community supporting labor or asking for support, or labor giving some dollars for some community issue. There's really got to be a fundamental change, and that's why we're trying to build these organizations across the state, from one little city to the other. People coming together on a common interest, this fight for the middle class, for jobs, for all the issues that are important. Because only when we do that will we have the power to actually take it on. The labor can't do it themselves, the community can't do themselves. We need a new organization, a new vision, new issues that bring us all together.
We'll take moderators, whatever, prior year. So just tell you the story that on the weekend before the last of the recall, or before the recalls, Bruce Colburn was working door to door in Milwaukee doing the campaigning, and he fell down some steps, like ripped open his face, went and got stitches, and was back at the doors before the day was time. So I don't want to hear any whining about hockey.
And then I played for the Green Bay Packers.
I won the Super Bowl again. Hey,